Okay, so your map should look something like this now. You should have all of your layers labeled, and you should have all of the cities marked. So we're now going to do the rivers. This is probably the trickiest of all the steps, just because the tool is a little weird to use at first. But there is a map in the back of your book in the reference materials, the resources, on page R20. And so if you would like to look at a map to kind of give you an idea of where we're going with these rivers, it may help some of you. Okay, so the first river that we are going to start with is the Rio Grande. So in the search bar, go ahead and search for the headwaters of, and if you hit the R, the first one that pops up is headwaters of the Rio Grande. So the Rio Grande actually starts in Colorado. So we can exit out this. We don't want to add to map. We don't want to add a marker. We just want this green marker to stay on the screen to kind of help us know around where to start. These rivers don't have to be like super exact because we don't want to get every single twist and bend in the river because y'all would be here all day. So we actually want to zoom out and just get the basic shape of the river. So we're gonna zoom out so we can see Texas in there too, not quite that much. Okay, so now I got where I can see where the start is and I can see most of Texas. So the Rio Grande is the river that creates the border between Texas and Mexico. So if you can kind of see, it's kind of hard to see where the rivers are in this map. So what I'm going to do is on this little menu to the side, I'm going to scroll down to where it says base map. And you might have to, no, not on the map. You might have to zoom into this part to get it to click on the iPad because the button's so small. But if you click base map, choose this one that's a satellite view. And zoom back in on this. And then you can kind of see a little bit better where the rivers are. Because you can see the Rio Grande is this gray squiggly line that goes down from Colorado by Albuquerque, down through Las Cruces, down to El Paso, and then it just follows the border of Texas. So, like I said, we don't have to get exact. So the top, there's this line tool in the top right here. We're going to click that and click add a line or a shape. We are going to start our line kind of near this. It doesn't have to be exact. And then we're just going to basically follow. You click to add. Don't click the dot at the end again, because if you click the dot at the end again, it ends that line. And if you end that line too early, that means that you're going to have to delete it and start over again. But just keep clicking the basic. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. See, like right there, I kind of messed up. We can fix that afterwards. So just get it kind of close. My pen does not want to read. Okay, you cannot move the page while you have this going because it will try to add to your line. But you may press the zoom out button while you have it clicked. Not quite that much. One click. And so I can kind of add it. Okay, so now I can click this dot at the end to finish the line. We're going to title this the Rio Grande. And enter. Save. Okay, so now we have this line. So now if I want to zoom in to fix some of these, you see how right here, there's certain places I got really off. What you can do now, if there's places where you got off, you can now move these dots to get them closer to where the actual river is. So you can see this white line is the border of Texas, which the Rio Grande follows. So we can just move the dots close to the white line. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exact, just close. I got really off over here. By Laredo. And yeah, and then you can just have it end in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's probably fine. Okay, so once I have that, and I have it basically positioned where I want it, I can click the paint bucket. I want to make it a blue line, and I actually want it to be a little bit wider so it's a little bit easier to see. And so there we got our first river. There's the Rio Grande River. Okay, so now we're going to do the Red River. I know that the Red River is the border between the bottom of Oklahoma and Texas. So it's going to be, so this gray squiggly line in here is the Red River. And like I said, if you look in your book, you can kind of tell that it goes across this panhandle of Texas. You see this square portion of Texas that's kind of rectangular? We call that section, and it will be referred to in the book as the panhandle, because if Texas was shaped like a pan, that would be the handle. So the Red River kind of goes south of Amarillo right here. So you can kind of see this zigzaggy line that goes south of Amarillo. Like I said, we don't have to be super exact, so we're just going to start it kind of over here by Canyon, Texas. You can kind of see the gray squiggle going down. So actually, if you want to, you can type Canyon, Texas, to get your little green marker to kind of help you out. Zoom out. And now we're going to follow that squiggly line across the top border of Texas. And like I said, go ahead and make the line, and if it's really off, we can move the dots afterwards. So don't worry about getting it horribly exact in the first go. It's just not very user-friendly with the iPads trying to do that. So we're going to click close to that dot, and we're just going to put it kind of, like I said, this white squiggly line is the border of Texas. And I know that the Red River follows that border. So we're going to just kind of put our line. And you can kind of see the Red River. It goes through, it comes out here into the bottom corner of Arkansas and then back towards Louisiana and Shreveport. This is all the Red River. And we don't have to go all the way with it. We just need to know that it goes into Louisiana is where it ends. It doesn't end in Texas. So we will end that line. This is the Red River. It still ends in the Gulf of Mexico. It just doesn't end in Texas. So because of the way the geography goes, the area at the coast is at sea level or very low elevation. And then once you get high up into the Panhandle and West Texas, the elevation is higher. So all the water is flowing from high to low. So all the rivers in Texas kind of flow towards the Gulf of Mexico. So save the Red River. And let's zoom in and kind of make our line a little prettier in spots. As long as it's close. Remember, once you get over here, the line goes into Arkansas and Louisiana. Okay, that's pretty close. It's not too bad. Like I said, it doesn't have to be super exact. Just close. So we're going to click it. And so one of the things, if you notice on that page that has the how it's graded, one of the things that you can get extra points for is for adding a description. So you can press the little pencil, and then so I know that Red River is the border in between Texas and Oklahoma, and I can save that, and now I have a description. And when I go to grade, if you have descriptions and pictures, you're going to get extra points for, and the same thing on the cities and stuff. So we want to make it blue, not that blue. I can't click the blue that I clicked last time. There it goes. And make it just a little bit wider so that we can see it from, when we zoom out, it's a little bit easier to see. So now you should have 2 rivers. Ooh, I made that one way too big. So you can just toy with the width. Just click the paintbrush again. A little bit skinnier than that. That's better. Okay, so the next river on our list is the Sabine River. And the Sabine River, I know, is it's part of the border between Texas and Louisiana. So, Sabine River. If I go in here, so you can see Sabine National Forest. So if I go up here to, I think it's, so if I go to Lake Tawakoni, the Sabine River goes through this lake. So zoom out. So I can see Lake Tawakoni kind of goes over here to the east side of like the Dallas and Mesquite marker. And then that river is going to, it kind of gets hard because there's so many roads in that part of Texas. Makes it hard to see. But it's going to wiggle over here and wiggle on down to where this Sabine National Forest is. It's going to wiggle there, and then it's going to go down the Texas-Louisiana border. Is the basics that we need to know. So we're going to start at that. Let's zoom out a little bit. So yeah, if you zoom out and you don't have all the little bitty tiny roads, it's a little bit easier to manage. So click our tool, add a line. We're just going to do it. So this Sabine River, it does go a little bit further. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. Okay, but we're just going to start it here for the sake of making it a little bit easier for y'all. So click. It kind of wiggles on down. You can kind of see this darker green. That's where the river is. And we're going to wiggle on down to the border. And we can fix that. So I accidentally clicked the circle, the thing I told y'all not to do, too early. So you have 2 options. Either I could delete it and start over, but I'm almost to the Gulf anyway. So I'm actually just going to grab that dot and just drag it down. If I was closer to the beginning point, I might just start over. So it's just according to how far you are, according to what you do. So this is the Sabine River. You can put a description. Like I said, you could put in the descriptions that it's the border between Texas and Louisiana. Make it blue. And just a little bit bigger. Okay, and then I can go zoom in if I want and toy with the line if I need to. So like here, it gets a little bit off. And if I click the line, I can add extra dots. You see how this one dot looks kind of grayed out? If I click that, I can add a dot there so that I have more points to move. So that might help some of you as well. And I got way off here, but it's okay. So that's close, like I said. We're more worried that you know the basic location of where these rivers are, not exactly every single city that they go through. So that's probably close enough for what we need. We just need to know that that's the border between Texas and Louisiana, and then it goes in towards the north central area of Texas to end. So our next river is the Brazos. Sound familiar? It should, because that's the one that goes through Waco. So we know it goes through Waco, but I would actually search for Seymour, Texas. We don't want to add it to our map. We just want to use the placeholder. And you can see just south of the Seymour is the Brazos River. And this is kind of close to where it starts. Close enough for what we need at least. So we're zooming out. We know that this river is going to go to Waco, right? And like I said, you can use the book if you need to. So the thing that's weird is that, well, it actually, I think I'm thinking of the wrong river. Did I do this wrong? No. Yeah, that's right. It goes north of Abilene right here. And it actually goes a little bit further east, but it gets real little over there and it's kind of hard to see. So we're just going to start it there. So this river actually snakes towards Fort Worth. It doesn't quite go to Fort Worth, but it goes kind of like southeast of it, underneath it, to Waco. So click our tool. Like I said, it's easier to see the rivers once you zoom in, and then you can move exactly where it is. So we'll click close to this dot. We know it's going to go somewhere over here by Waco, right? Because it goes to Waco. And I didn't even click Waco right, but it's fine. Because we can fix that. And then this river is going to go all the way down here. Zoom out a little bit. Not that much. See, look, I just goofed. So you can click undo. So you see how I clicked all the way in Cuba? We aren't trying to make a dot in Cuba. So see, this is what I mean. You might have to restart because I already messed this one up a lot. So end it. And delete this because I goofed. And you are going to goof too. Like I said, this is the hardest step because the tools aren't exactly the most. The iPad makes it hard to click. So click. It's going to go to Waco. And you can kind of see this gray line. That's the river. And it's going to go kind of south of Galveston down here. Out to the Gulf, and then we can end it, and then we can zoom in. So this is the Brazos. And now I can zoom in and kind of move it if I need to. Okay. Okay, it decided to freeze. There it is. I got way off on that one. I don't know what I was doing. But you can see there's the Brazos again. And anytime you see Brazos River on the map, you can just move one of your dots over there and kind of get it closer. Like I got way off. There's the Brazos River over there. There's the Brazos River right there. And like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. We're not trying to follow every single little nook and cranny. We're just trying to get it close. Okay, that's probably... Oh, I forgot to change the color. Blue. A little bit wider. Okay, so now we're going to do, the last river is the Colorado River. So the Colorado River kind of, so we know that the Colorado runs through Austin. So we know it goes through Austin, and I also know that it kind of starts at near Matagorda, Texas. So I'm going to click Matagorda, Texas. Zoom it out. And you can see the snaky river coming right. See this little snake of a river? That's the Colorado River. And we know it's going to go from there. Zoom out. So I know it's going to go from there up towards Austin. And the Colorado River actually goes kind of close to the edge of the Panhandle. So zoom out so that you can see the area. So, and then we're going to end somewhere over here. Like I said, you may need to look at your book to kind of have a better idea, because it's kind of hard on these satellite image maps to see exactly where it is. So, like I said, R20 in the atlas in your book may be of help. So click the line tool. I'm going to start it in the Gulf. We know we're going here. And we know we're wiggling up. Oh, look, I already messed up. We're wiggling up towards Austin. So you can kind of see a grayish brown line. And that is the Colorado. So it goes towards Austin. And then it is going to be north of San Angelo, but south of Abilene. So it's going to kind of go over here somewhere. And it just goes up and across. And oh, zoom out. So it's going to end somewhere over here. And it keeps going, but like I said, we're worried about the Texas portion. So this is the Colorado River. I can't type. Save. Make it blue. A little bit wider. And now if you want to go back in and get it a little closer to the actual river, you can. Because I got way off right here, because that little brown line right there is the river. Colorado River. Oops. Colorado River. And like I said, as long as it's close, you'll be fine. Because you'll be here all day if you tried to follow this river exactly. Okay, so that's probably pretty close. Yeah. Okay, and so for our needs, that is good. Okay, so that's the 5 major rivers, at least the basic lines. Like I said, we just need to know which ones go in the middle, which ones are borders, and different facts about them like that. So the last thing I was going to have y'all do is the brown line for the Balcones escarpment. So this goes, okay, so here's our map of Texas, and you can kind of see by Austin and San Antonio, you see this really dark line that like crescent moon shape. That is the escarpment. So we are going to make a line just like we did with the rivers, and you can kind of start over here where it starts getting dark and then follow this dark green, and then we're going to end it and we're going to label it the Balcones escarpment. Save. We need to change it to brown and a little bit wider so it's easier to see. Okay, so that is a bad brown color. Let me do the lighter one. There we go. That's easier to see. Okay, so that is part 2.